The Gilded Ones, Chapter 3. It's dark when I awake and strangely quiet. The noise and the crowds of the village square have disappeared, replaced by shadows, cold, and silence. Where am I? I glance around, my breath coming in short, labored spurts, and discover I'm in what looks like a cellar, with neatly stacked casks of oil lined against dark stone walls. I try to rise, but something stops me. A rough-hewn iron shackle, one set for my feet, and a matching pair for my wrists. I tug and twist, breath and heavier now, but the shackles won't move. They've been hammered into the wall behind me. A scream builds in my throat. You're awake. Ionis's voice slices through my panic. He's standing in the darkness, examining me with cold intensity he usually reserves for beggars and lepers. The expression is so harsh, I jerk back frightened. Ionis, I say, tugging at the manacles. What's happening? Why am I here? Ionis's mouth turns upside down with disgust. You see me? He asks. He then adds as if to himself, Of course you can. I don't understand, I say, sitting up. Why am I here? Why am I chained? Ionis lights a torch. The brightness is so overwhelming I have to shield my eyes. You can see me in complete darkness, and you dare ask why you're here. I don't understand, I repeat. My head, everything is all confused. How can you not remember? Do not speak to it, a cold voice commands. Father rises from the corner, a harsh expression on his face. A pillar concealed him before, but there he is now, clear as day, despite the shadows cloaking his corner. Why can I see him so clearly? Ionis just lit one torch. A fearful twinge shoots through my stomach, and I can remember Ionis's words. You can see me in complete darkness. Father nods curtly to Ionis. Summon the others. Ionis hurries up the stairs, leaving Father, a wraith-like figure in the darkness. His eyes burn with a strange emotion as he approaches. Anger? Disgust? Father, I whisper, but he doesn't reply as he crouches before me, his eyes flickering over my body until they land on my stomach. There's a jagged hole in my dress, revealing a stretch of unmarked skin. I cover it self-consciously, something niggling at me. What am I forgetting? Not even a scar, Father observes in a strange, removed sort of way. He has something clenched in his hand. Mother's necklace. He must have taken it from my neck as I slept. A tear slides down my cheek. Father, I say, Father, what is this? Why am I here? I reach out to him, then stop. There's a harsh, forbidding expression on his face. A simmering disgust. Why won't he answer me? Why won't he look at me? I will give anything for a chance to embrace him and tell him how foolish I am for being so frightened. His silly, silly girl. He does none of those things. Only looks into my eyes with that awful, removed disgust. It would have been better if you had just died, he spits. And then I remember. I remember the ritual of purity. The Death Shriek's leader approach. How cold those black eyes were as they met mine. Then the Jatu and the village men's counterattack. Blood on the snow, Father in danger, and that voice emerging from me. That awful, inhuman voice. Followed by the look in Father's eyes as he commanded Ionis to cut me down. The look that I understood only when I saw the golden blood dripping down my belly. No, I whisper. Sobs racking my body, I can almost feel the jagged edge of the sword again. Feel the darkness descending upon me. I rock back and forth. So deep in my horror, I barely notice the footsteps coming down the stairs. Barely seeing the figures approaching. Only after they've been standing there before me for some minutes do I look up, and I discover Elder Dirkus reading fervently from the infinite wisdoms, a bandaged Elder Olam and the village elders standing silently behind him. There are only 5 of them now. I wonder about the others, and the image of the 2 elders' spines shattering under the sweep of the Death Shriek's claws blisters through my mind, and my stomach lurches. I double over. Vomit pungent on my tongue, Elder Dirkus stepped forwards, his eyes filled with disgust. To think we sheltered such a creature in our midst. His words jolt through me. I surged through my knees, holding my hands out to them. Elder Durkis, I plead. Please, this is a mistake. I am not impure. I am not. Guilt surges inside of me. A horrific reminder. My skin tingled when the death shrieks came and when they left. It was only because I told them to. Because I commanded them to. Elder Durkis ignores me and turns to the other men. Who will purify this demon and rid our village of their abomination? His words terrify me. I begin begging again. Please, Elder Durkis, please. But the elder says nothing, only turns to Father, who glances at me. There's an expression in his eyes and uncertainty. Remember, this is not your daughter, Elder Durkis reminds him. She may look human now, but that is the demon that has possessed her. The demon that called the death shrieks to our door and killed our families. Called the death shrieks? The words splinter, choking me with horror. I didn't, I protest. I didn't call the death shrieks. You made them leave, however. The reminder slithers through my mind, and I force it away. Elder Durkis ignores me, continues talking to Father. You brought her impurity into this village. It is your duty to cleanse her. To my horror, Father nods grimly, then steps forward, holding out his hand. Ionis places a sword inside of it. When it gleams, its blade reflecting the dim light, my fear explodes. I scramble against the wall. Father, no. Please, no. But Father ignores my pleas and approaches until he's standing just before me, the tip of the sword resting on my neck. It's cold, so icy cold. I look up at Father, trying to see any hint of the man who once carried me on his shoulders and saved the creamiest portions of milk because he knew I liked them the best. Father, please don't do this, I beg. Tears pouring down my cheeks. I'm your daughter. I'm Deka, your Deka, remember? For a moment, something seems to spark in his eyes. Regret. Cleanse her, or the Jatu will come for you and the rest of your family, Elder Durkis hisses. Father's eyes shudder. His lips thin into a tight, grim line. I cleanse you in the name of Oyomo, he declares, raising the sword. Father, no! The blade slices through my neck. I'm a demon. I knew it the moment I opened my eyes. I'm still chained up in the cellar, but my body is whole again. Not a single scar or blemish marks my skin, not even the portion of the neck where Father beheaded me. I touch it, a whimper reaching from inside me when I feel the neck skin there. Once more, a silky smooth under my finger as if it's been completely reborn. Even my childhood scars are gone. I hurriedly kneel, bowing my head in prayer. Please don't abandon me, Infinite Father, I beg. Please purify me of whatever evil has taken hold. Please, please, please. Your prayers won't reach him, Elder Olam says from the corner. It's his turn to watch me, it seems. Unlike the others, he does with fascination rather than disgust. He's already rejected you from his afterlands twice. His words are like an arrow piercing through my heart. Because I'm a demon, I whisper. Horror and disgust and acrid bitterness in my mouth. Indeed. Elder Olam doesn't bother to predify his answer. He doesn't have to. What kind of cursed creature doesn't die from a beheading? Even death shrieks topple when their heads are cleaved from their bodies. I close my eyes against my memory and try to breathe out my rising panic. Where's Father? I ask. The elder shrugs. He took to his bed. Something about his tones makes me stiffen. When? 5 days ago, when the fibers of your neck stretched the way back to your body and reattached. Vomit rises to my throat again. I retch loudly, emptying my stomach. There isn't much left in it now but water and bile. Once I'm finished, I wipe my lips, mentally push back frenzied thoughts and acid guilt. All those years, Father endured being sneered at and excluded for me. For the promise that I would one day be proven and show everyone I belonged in the village. But I am exactly what they said I was. Only worse. So much worse. And now look what I've done. Elder Olam continues watching me. Your friend Elfried is pure, in the event you were wondering, he says. We are watching her nevertheless. She spent a great deal of time with you. You never know how such associations can taint a person. The words chill me to my core. She is innocent, I whisper, horrified. I'm the one who heard the death shrieks, who commanded them. Elfried had nothing to do with this. Elder Olam shrugs. Perhaps. Time will tell, I suppose. The callousness of his answer is terrifying, but I can't dwell on that now. Father, I remind him, what is his condition? Elder Olam shrugs again, unconcerned. He won't survive for long. Not if you remain undying, he adds pointedly. I flinch, shame and guilt roiling in my belly. Now I understand why Elder Olam is here, why the others made sure he took Father's place. He's good at making people see his way. Before he became head of the village, he was a very successful trader. He had a way of making his patrons believe that they wanted what he wanted. He doesn't have to do so with me. I look down at my veins, stomach lurching as they shimmer, the gold glittering inside them, demonic essence forever marking me impure. I want to rip them out, want to dig so deeply I empty them. Suddenly, I think of the villagers, huddled in their homes and Father on his sickbed, and even Elfried. Distinctly now, I remember the fear in her eyes when she looked at me, the disgust. What happens when the demon in me arises again? What happens if I decide to lash out, to attack the village, to call more death shrieks? All those dead villagers scattered in the snow. My breath shallows, and I try to breathe, surrendering myself to Oyomo's grace. Elder Dirkus told us it was always around us, there if we only reached for it, if only we submitted ourselves to his will. I will submit. I will do anything to cleanse myself of impurity of my sins. I look up at Father Olam. Kill me, I whisper, the tears sliding down my cheeks. I know you must know how. I am an abomination in the eyes of Oyomo. I am an abomination. A grim smile slices Elder Olam's lips. Victory. They say fire is the cleansing for the spirit, he murmurs, taking a torch from the wall and staring meaningfully at the flames. Another scream rises, but I swallow it down. It'll be all right, I tell myself. All I have to do is submit. Subject myself to the flames, and perhaps then Oyomo will forgive me for my impurity. Even as I think this, I know it's a lie. Fire won't kill me. Perhaps nothing ever will. Even then I will have to try, have to submit and bear the pain until Oyomo give me his grace again, or until he grants me the mercy of death. Click, click, click. A sharp, insistent tapping penetrates my ears. When I blearily open my eyes, there's a woman sitting before me. She's small and delicate, and dark robes cover her from head to toe. Even stranger, her hands are covered by white, bone-like armored gloves, gauntlets even. They have sharpened claws on the end, and they glow dimly in the darkness of the cellar. It almost looks as if she has ghostly white hands. White hands. Perhaps that's what I'll call her. When she notices me watching her, White Hand stops drumming her fingers. Her wooden half-mask gleams under her hood. A gnarled, frightening demon caught mid-roar. I blink. For just a moment, I thought it was a war mask. But only men wear those. Is she really a nightmare? A fever dream? Please let her be a dream. Please. No more pain, no more blood. Gold coiling across the floor like a river. Tiny daggers bite into my chin and neck. No, no, no. You will not ignore me, Alaki. White Hand says in a lifting, heavily accented voice. I jerk away from her gauntlets, gasping. This isn't a dream. She's really here. The scent of ice and fir trees waft from her cloak, chasing away the ever-present stench of burning flesh, melting fat, and charred bone. As I inhale deeply, savoring the smell, White Hand abruptly crouches, her eyes boring into mine. Fear shivers over me. They're dark. So very, very dark, those eyes. The last time I saw eyes so dark was on a death streak. They didn't have white surrounding their pupils. White Hands is a human, and terrifyingly so. You're awake. Good, she murmurs. Are you lucid? I blink back at her. White Hand slapped me so sharply my head jerks back from the blow. I touch my cheek, shocked, until she grips my chin with those clawed hands again. Are you lucid, Alaki? There it is, that word again. Alaki. I pronounce it silently in my mind, focusing on its strange forbidden edges as I sit up. Yes, I rasp, licking my lips. My voice is a raw nerve, my tongue drier than our lake bed in midsummer. I haven't spoken in days. Or has it been weeks? Months? How long have I been here? My memories blend in an orgy of blood and terror, of gold, shimmering on the cobblestone floor as sword slices down, tearing past and reattaching muscles, reconnecting tendons. The elders bring out buckets, gold lust in their eyes. They're going to dismember me again, going to rip me apart to harvest the gold that flows in my veins. A scream pours out, shrill, unhinged. It mixes with my prayers. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to sin. I didn't know about the impurity of my blood. Please forgive me. Then, the icy sweetness of the knife slicing through my tongue. White Hand snaps her claws. No, don't drift off again. She rummages in her cloak and unearths a small glass vial, which she wafts under my nose. An acrid smell sears my nostrils. I jerk upright, blinking wildly as memories flee back into their hidden corners. White Hands moves forward with the vial again, but I quickly turn my head away. I'm awake, I rasp. Good, she says. I dislike being ignored by Alaki. Alaki, I repeat. It means worthless, unwanted. This is what they call your kind. White Hand peers at me. I can almost feel her frowning under the hood. You do not know what you are? I struggle to understand what she's saying. I'm impure, I reply. Rivers of golden blood flow past my ears. Amusement glimmers in hers. Undoubtedly. But that does not fully explain what you are. Something stirs inside of me. A dull echo almost resembling curiosity. What am I ask. And what do you mean by my kind? Does she mean the other impure girls? The ones who died here? More memories surface. Impatient whispers in the darkness. Why won't she die? They always die by the second or third death. Beheading, burning, drowning. It's always one of the three. She's unnatural, this one. Unnatural. If you make the correct choice, I will tell you. The sound of White Hand's voice returns me abruptly to the present. Choice? My head throbs and I want to go back to sleep. I begin to close my eyes again, but she pulls something from her pocket. It's a seal made of solid gold, with a circle of obsidian stones in the middle of one side and an old Aurorian symbol on the other. An eclipsed sun whose rays have been turned into wickedly sharp blades. This is the first time I've ever seen one up close. Only officials carry seals, and it's rare that they come to Earthwood. There's something strange about the circle on the first side. I squint,